And the secret sauce, or the way, the reason it works is, again, these cognitive fixedness or cognitive biases that don't allow us to think beyond the trivial or the banal in the day-to-day.
Yeah, we think we know. We know.
Yeah,
we want to know. We want to believe that we know. And that's why we're so sure most of the time, because this is what we want it to be. We want to have the answer, the right answer all the time. And it's hard for us to be in uncertainty, and it makes us anxious. And that's why we jump into a solution or an answer or a fix to something, because the unknown is hard. You know, the biggest fear of people is the fear of the dark. Why are we afraid of the dark? Because we don't know what's out there. Yeah. So I think it's more or less like that. And it's really interesting.
Uncertainty and ambiguity are two very important words in the field of innovation. I think people maybe they do know that, but like there's a lot of anxiety. And by the way, 2020 is exactly a year that we are seeing.
Yeah, we can talk about anxiety right now, right? Uncertainty and anxiety. This is like the name of 2020. Yeah.
The interesting thing is that even when you do this, when you apply these different tools, and you already break fixedness, people immediately, their intuitive reaction is to find a ground, like a stable ground. So you let them imagine a situation of, I don't know, organizational structure that doesn't have a CEO, and they immediately try to find something that will call like either a category or definition that they already know that is familiar. So they have a safe ground to be in. And it's such a human thing to do, right? Because it can be outside of your comfort zone for a moment, but not for a long moment. You have to stabilize somehow. And I think that's how the innovation process works, by the way. Like you have to, every time, to break something or, shake one thing, but then keep all the other things stable, because if you try to shake everything, then...
Yeah, we see it right now. Everything is shaken. So it's not, we have like an experiment. So hi, Gali. Thanks for the question. And she's asking about ideation for entrepreneurs. And as if you were an employee in a company, so what would you do as an entrepreneur? And like when you're a very small team, and thanks, Gali, and where you're a startup, it's not like in a big company and you have someone from tech and someone from like what you talked about, diversity, and they have a very small team and they don't always know how to do it. And I always tell them, bring people in, and don't be afraid to tell your story and tell what you're working on. In many cases, entrepreneurs are so afraid, that somebody would steal their idea. Yeah. But as we just started to talk about, the idea is not that important. And even in research that found what are the aspects that makes a startup successful, he was not the first one. So it was the idea, the team, the timing, so forth. And it seems the timing was the most important. And I would say team, but no, it seems that. So in general, I would tell Gali that ideation needs to be joining brain power. You cannot do it alone. And therefore, it needs to be with people. What would you say?
I completely agree. As an entrepreneur myself in the last 3 years, I can say that the first year I was very reluctant to share my idea, and I think now I realize that no, the opposite is true. You have to share as much as possible, and actually you have to look for disagreement. It's interesting because there are many people that are either your friends or people that support you that you will always like tell you, yes, it's a great idea, and I think the disagreements are the interesting parts. People that, if you appreciate the person, sometimes people just criticize.
Yeah, of course.